Hi all. There was some question about the relationship between points and picas and inches on Tuesday, so I thought I would take just a couple of minutes to do a brief recording and try to come up with something in terms of a website that might help you as well better understand it. Reading on page 62 in your textbook, however, in the left-hand column, you'll see visually a relationship between points to picas and to inch as well. On figure 5.8 or 5-8, for example, on page 62, it indicates that there are 6 picas per inch and 12 points per pica. Now, if you're looking at that kind of a measurement in relationship to an InDesign document or working with text, a couple of things for you to consider or to understand. The point, and I'm sure you guys know this, it's generally, in graphic design, it's always a unit of measurement that's used primarily for representing the height of characters and then also the amount of space between the lines, and we know that as leading. So point, again, as a unit of measurement, it's equal to 1/72nd of an inch, and it's used primarily for type measurements. Now the next, on this particular handout, on this page, and we don't discuss this in our textbook, but it talks about pitch transferred to points. 1/20th of a pitch equals how many points? For example, 12 pitch equals 120 divided by 12 equals 10 points. A pitch describes the width of a character, and there's, I honestly I have not used it very much, but pitch describes the width of a character, so the pitch equals the number of characters that can fit side by side in 1 inch. So for example, a 10 pitch equals 10 characters per inch, or 10 CPI. And again, I don't know that I've ever had to use that in relationship to creating a design, so I'm not so sure that that's all that relevant other than just to understand what it is for a later point in time if needed. Pica, however, that's a measurement that you will use on a fairly regular basis if you choose to do layout and design. That refers to a measurement typically of a paragraph, for example, or a line width. Pica refers to a unit of measurement equal to 1/6 of an inch or 12 points. A pica, 1 pica equals 1/6 of an inch or 12 points. So pica and points can be used interchangeably, and many typographers use pica as their standard unit of measurement. Many graphic designers do as well. So for example, just what it indicated here, points divided by 12 equals a pica. For example, if it's 24 points, so it's points divided by 12 equals 2 pica. And then again, pitch is not something, as we mentioned earlier, that we work on a regular basis, so I'm not going to waste your time going over that. Here is a table for some common point sizes that you will encounter. So if you look at the number of the points, again, remember these are like an 18-point type. In picas, that would measure 1.5 or 1/4 of an inch. So hopefully that explains that somewhat, but again, points and picas are kind of like inches and millimeters. They're fixed measurements. They're also proportional in that their lengths depend on the size of the type they're measuring. So if the type size changes, the unit also changes in proportion to it. I'm taking this right out of the textbook on page 62. Without proportional units, scalable fonts and adjustments to kerning or tracking would be more difficult. The main unit of measurement of this kind is a measure of width called an M, and that is equal to the point size of the type, so that an M space for a 10-point type would be 10 points wide. That's an M. Then the unit called N, that's 1/2 the width of an M, so an N space for 10 points would be 5 points wide. And then when you write the picas and points, again, in your textbook, it shows you an example on page 62, and this is figure 5-9. The conventional notation to list the picas first. So 3 pica 2, or 3 picas and then 2.5 are actual points. So it would be 3 picas. This measurement would be read 3 picas, 2.5 points. And it would equal to about just a little over a quarter of an inch, or 0.285 inches, or 20.5 points. So again, hopefully this website, this is on a Microsoft reference page, and the explanation, hopefully that will help you out a little bit. And if not, we can always deal with it in class tomorrow as well. Thank you.